Welcome everyone to another Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd Family part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. Wanted to come on here live here on this Thursday night to first tell you that if you come on here live, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Make sure you give the video a like and a thumbs up. Subscribe if you have not yet subscribed. Share the video on all social media platforms. And next, I want to say that I hope everybody is looking forward to a busy weekend. I don't know where you are, but where I am, it has been really hot, muggy, humid, and sticky the last few days, and it does not feel like early November. Of course, now we're almost into mid-November, but it's supposed to be in the 80s tomorrow where I am. But tonight, I don't really have any certain topic to discuss. I'm just going to jump around and mention a few topics in the sports world. If you would like to add anything to the conversation, please feel free to do that. But sometimes I just like to come on here and talk sports and not focus on college football, not focus on the NFL, not focus on basketball, just skip around. Don't forget, coming up Saturday night, 6 o'clock, doors open, 7 o'clock, bell time for SWA's Fallout from Fightmare. I talked about it earlier in the week, mentioned a few of the matches you're going to see Saturday night, so come on out to 244 Livestock Road, East Denali, Georgia, and see all the fallout from SWA's Fightmare. Doors open at 6 o'clock. Bell time will be 7 o'clock. This Sunday is the last NASCAR Cup Series race of the season, and one of these four drivers will win the championship. Joey Logano, Tyler Reddick, William Byron, or Ryan Blaney. It was supposed to be Logano, Reddick, Blaney, and Bell, and then NASCAR said they didn't like the finish of the last race, and Christopher Bell basically got disqualified, so William Byron makes the Final Four. Hello there, Daniel. Glad to have you here, and I see you have the word sports in your name, and that's good because that's what I'm doing, is talking sports, and I'm not just focusing on one sport tonight. I'm kind of skipping around. Joey Logano has 2 championships. Ryan Blaney, of course, is the defending Cup Series champion. Tyler Reddick, who I picked to win the championship back in July, has never won one, and William Byron has never won one. So we're either going to see Reddick or Byron win their first, Logano win his third, or Blaney win his second in a row coming up Sunday afternoon. We're about 3 weeks into the NBA season right now. Joel Embiid, in case you, I guess, are living under a rock, has been suspended by the NBA for shoving a reporter, and that's all it was. He shoved him, and I'm surprised the reporter didn't come back and write an article about it or talk about it, because if I was him, I would have done that. But he did issue an apology, but he's one of those guys that has been a Philadelphia area beat writer for probably 30 years, and he always writes those articles that are kind of over the top, over the edge. He tries to kind of push the limits too far just to get clicks. He did it, and him and Joel Embiid have never really got along to begin with. And he wrote an article talking about Joel Embiid's dead brother, and Joel Embiid did not like that too much. So when he saw the reporter, he shoved him, and that was it. So he got suspended 3 games for doing it because you should never do it, but he was kind of justified for doing it. But, he has not played yet this year. He's been injured, and the NBA suspended him because the 76ers claimed he was ready to play, but you can always say that. So now he's been suspended. He's supposed to come back Tuesday night, and I think it'd be funny if Tuesday night comes around and Joel Embiid does not play, because then, really, truly, your suspension meant diddly squat because you weren't going to play anyway. But the 76ers went out and signed Paul George, showing that they're trying to, do something in the playoffs, because they always get there and they just cannot get past the second round. You already have Joel Embiid. You already have Tyrese Maxey. They went out and signed Paul George, and so far they're 1-6, tied for the worst record in the NBA with the Utah Jazz and the Milwaukee Bucks. And speaking of the Bucks, Giannis is asking for a trade, and if the Bucks are smart, they'll go ahead and trade him, because if he doesn't want to be there, he's just not going to play. And if he does play, he's not going to give you full effort. But it's amazing that the Bucks just won a championship a couple of years ago, and pretty much for the most part, they still have all the core talent from that team. They still got Giannis. They still got Brook Lopez. They still got Pat Connaughton. They still got Bobby Portis. The only thing that changed is the point guard position, but the one they have now is better than the one they had back then. But now the Bucks are terrible, and if they do trade Giannis, they're going to be flat out awful. So of course that means Doc Rivers will get fired from yet another head coaching job. He's going to end up coaching for every team in the NBA before it's all said and done. Hey there, Grayson. Glad you're tuned in on this Thursday night. All is well. In my world, in my opinion, everything is always well. No such thing as a bad day. There are bad moments. Bad moments don't make bad days. We choose to let bad moments create bad days. The topic of this channel, honestly, really, truly, Grayson, if I had to be 100% transparent, I would say a little bit of everything except for politics. I despise politics. I hate politics. Refuse to discuss them. Won't discuss them. Just will not do it. Outside of that, it's supposed to be a sports channel and a wrestling channel, because I'm a independent professional wrestling referee, so I'm always going to talk wrestling, but I don't talk wrestling every single video, but I will talk about it. But I talk college football, the NFL, college basketball, the NBA, NASCAR, Major League Baseball. I did a couple videos about tennis. I believe I did one about boxing, but I also do top 10 countdowns here on the channel just about every week, and those might be about movies, food, restaurants, music, Halloween, Christmas, vacation, cars. You just never know. So really, truly, the channel is mainly sports, but not one sport, not one team, just sports and entertainment, because it could be just about anything. And that's why I try to come on here live. For a long time, I didn't do live videos, but I enjoy doing live videos because people can comment as I go, and we can end up talking about anything and everything. And that's the point of doing live videos. So it's really a sports / entertainment channel, but nothing is off limits except for politics. That's something I just refuse to discuss and talk about. In this video tonight, I'm just talking about sports in general. I'm not focusing on one team or one sport. I'm all over the place tonight. But my New Orleans Pelicans are off to a bad start, and surprise, 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 we're 3 weeks into the season, and Zion Williamson's already missed time for being hurt. C.J. McCollum is still out because he's hurt. They played a game, I want to say it was Sunday against the Hawks, where DeJounte Murray, who they got from the Hawks, supposed to be their starting point guard, was out hurt. C.J. McCollum was out hurt. Zion Williamson was out hurt. And then Herb Jones, who was their best defensive player, was out hurt. So they had 4 or 5 starters and a bench guy out on, I think it was Sunday against the Hawks, and of course they got beat. Zion Williamson came back last night, but they played the Cavaliers last night. The Cavs right now are the second best team in the NBA. You're not beating the Cavs if you have Zion Williamson and C.J. McCollum and Brandon Ingram, but they were competitive. If they can beat some of the lower tier teams, as long as they have some of those guys, but when you're playing and you don't have DeJounte or Zion or CJ or Herb Jones, you're not beating anybody. But we'll never know how good the Pelicans could be because there's only probably 5 games a year, maybe 10, where Zion, Brandon, and CJ all play. CJ gets hurt. As soon as he comes back, Zion will miss time. As soon as he comes back, Brandon will miss time. They just cannot be on the same court at the same time. Something is always wrong with at least one of them. Hey there, brunette. Glad to have you here. You look like you like your state sport. Hey, Italy. Glad to have you here. You're an LSU fan. That is good to know, no matter what sport you like and what team you like. I always enjoy having you here watching the videos. Make sure you like the video. Give the video a thumbs up. If you have not yet subscribed, please do so and share the video on all social media platforms. And Italy, I'm glad to have you here as well. So hi to you wherever you are. It does not matter where you are. I'm glad you're tuned into the channel here on this Thursday night. Another big weekend of college football is coming up too. Now, last weekend, obviously the biggest game on the schedule was Ohio State and Penn State, and no other game was even close. I think this weekend, the 2 biggest games are Georgia and Ole Miss, and then LSU and Alabama, speaking of LSU. And luckily, they're not at the same time. We have the Georgia and Ole Miss game at 3:30, and then we have the Alabama LSU game at 7:30. I'm going to my 3rd football game in a few weeks. Well, that's good, brunette. What game will that be, if you don't mind me asking? I did actually hear earlier today on the radio that the over-under for the Alabama LSU game Saturday is either 58 or 58 and a half, one of the two. And honestly, really, truly, I was surprised by that because Alabama does not have the defense they've had in years past. And LSU's defense, while it has gotten better, it's still not great. And I expect both teams to score 30-plus points. So I'm surprised the over-under is 58, and if there is less than that scored, I will be surprised. You went to the South Bama one. Oh, okay. All right. I didn't know if you were in Louisiana or if you were just an LSU fan because, you know, you can be a fan of a team whether you live in that sport, in that state or not. So I just didn't know if you were living in Louisiana or if you were from Louisiana, or if you just happened to like LSU and lived somewhere other side of the country. You're in Louisiana. Okay, well, that's good to know. It's currently about 9:05 in Louisiana, so glad to have you here on this late Thursday night in Louisiana. I believe that's the first time I've seen your name in the comment section, so glad to have you here. You can always leave a comment in the live videos, or you can click on any video from the past and leave a comment. It ain't even got to be about the video, just a comment in general, and I will see it, and I try my best to respond to every single comment But even if I do by some chance forget, I do read all of them. But I try to leave a comment as I read them, because if I don't, and I say, oh, I'll go back later and do it, I do forget. I am 40. Thank you for asking. I know I look like I'm 25, but I am 40. So glad you asked, and I'm glad you can't look at me and see how old I am, but I am exactly 40. But I think the Georgia Ole Miss game and the Alabama LSU game are the two biggest games this weekend. But there's a few other games on the docket that should be good. But I think those are the two biggest games as far as rankings wise and playoff wise, because there is a good chance that the loser, whoever that might be, of the Alabama LSU game will be eliminated from the playoffs. Can't say that for sure, but if you lose this game, you're not playing for your conference championship, and you'll have 3 losses, so you'll have to win out just to stay at 3 losses. So there's a chance the loser could be eliminated. I think if LSU loses, they are eliminated. But if Alabama loses, I still don't think they'll be eliminated, because the media loves Alabama, and Vanderbilt's only ranked right now because they beat Alabama, so they're trying to say it's a quality loss for Alabama. But now, if the loser of this game by some chance loses in a lopsided game and one team wins 45-10, well then yeah, the loser's out. But I really think it's going to be a fourth quarter game, and I really think it's going to come down to the wire. Whoever wins the game, I believe it'll be a fourth quarter game. If not, I'll be surprised. I don't think anybody, Brunette, is a big fan of Alabama. Alabama college football is kind of like the Yankees in Major League Baseball, and kind of like the Celtics and the Lakers in the NBA. You either like them or you hate them. There's no in between. You very rarely will talk to somebody that says, "Yeah, I'm not a Yankees fan, but I don't hate them." You either like the Yankees or you don't. Same way with Alabama. Me personally, I've never liked them, but the main reason I can't stand them now is because when I was in school, there was about almost 15 years from the early 90s until Nick Saban came along where Alabama was terrible. I mean, if they won 5 games in a season, it was a good season. And I never, not one time, saw one person wearing an Alabama hat, a shirt, a jacket, didn't have no Bama sticker on their car, nothing. And then all of a sudden, Nick Saban comes along and Alabama starts winning. And everywhere you look, everywhere you go, you see Bama hats, Bama stickers, Bama jackets, and all these supposed Bama fans. Well, I'm a lifelong fan. No, you're not. You're a fake fan. If you only wear and only buy merchandise from a team when they're winning, you're not a real fan. I've been a Clemson fan for almost 30 years, and even back when Tommy West and Tommy Bowden was the coach, and Clemson was lucky to win 7 games, I was still buying hats. I was still buying shirts. When the basketball team is terrible, I still walk around during basketball season wearing the hat, wearing the shirts. If you don't do that, then you're not a real fan. Hey there, Christopher. Glad to have you here. I am doing absolutely fantastic. So, Brunette, my main reason for hating Alabama is because I feel like they have too many bandwagon fans. And it's not just Alabama. You see it with every team in every sport. As soon as they start winning, you start seeing all this new merchandise. I'm sorry. If you only buy merchandise for a team when they're winning, you're not a real fan. And if you have the merchandise at home and you only wear it when they're winning, you're not a real fan. If you can't wear your team's colors even when they suck, you're not a fan. I do pull for Alabama one time a year, and that's when they play Georgia. Now, if they don't play Georgia, I don't pull for them at all. But if they play Georgia, I pull for them in that game. And that's the only time of the year I pull for them. So I'm a Bama fan one time a year, and that's it. You're wearing an LSU shirt right now. That's good to know. Most of my videos, I try to wear a Clemson hat or a Clemson shirt, but even if I don't, this extra bedroom, you see all the Clemson stuff behind me, so it's obvious who I pull for. But I do try to wear a shirt or a hat or something with Clemson everywhere I go to support my team, whether it's football season, baseball season, basketball season, because I don't just pull for Clemson in football. I pull for Clemson in basketball, baseball, rowing, soccer, volleyball, softball. It doesn't matter. If there's a sport and Clemson plays in it, I support them. Hey, Forrest, glad to have you here. No, Brunette, I do not play an instrument. I had drums when I was in probably middle school, but I have not played them since I was in middle school. Who do you think was better in his prime, Steven Gerrard or Paul Scholes? Tommy, glad to have you here. I'd have to say Steven Gerrard. That's just my personal opinion. You can play 3 instruments. I am not coordinated at all. I know at our church, my wife and my daughter are both on the drama team, and I can watch them dance, and I can know the dance. But when I get up to try to do the dance, my body goes half this way, half that way. I am just not coordinated at all. So if I tried to play an instrument, if it was anything complicated, I wouldn't be able to do it. I am just not coordinated at all. My daughter is 10 years old. Thank you for asking. Any thoughts on any of this tonight, whether it's NASCAR, NBA, college football, or anything else in general? Feel free to leave a comment in the comment section down below or on any of the previous videos I posted, because I just about post every single day. I do take a day off every now and then, but it's rare. Usually if I do, it's because either we have family plans or somebody in the family's sick or it's a holiday or something like that. Other than that, I'm posting just about every single day, even though I do so much other stuff as well. I try to post every day. I enjoy doing this, and I surely enjoy going live and reading all the comments. Thank you for all the ones that commented live tonight. Hey there, know the Oakland, glad to have you here. Hey, Alex, glad to have you here. And Tommy, once again, glad to have you here. Brunette, you play the trumpet, trombone, and baritone. Nope, I could not play any of them. If I tried to walk and blow at the same time, I'd probably fall over. I am just not coordinated. But let's go ahead and get our dad joke of the day in here. Mike is going to the costume as a wasp. He's wearing an old yellow jacket. And that does it for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of 3. Tell your friends and family how much you love them. Bye.